Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I'm going to give you guys another recommendation video in my top 12 series. If you've never seen one of these videos before, first of all, I will link the entire playlist up above and down below. But second of all, this is the series where I pick a subgenre or some kind of popular trope in the horror and thriller genres, and I zero in on it and give you guys not just 12 recommendations in that category, but my top all-time dozen favorite books that fit into that category. And today's video is going to be all about Blackmail. Now, I know when people do tier ranking videos, ranking all of the tropes, Blackmail usually comes last. And for me, I would agree with that. I usually do not like Blackmail books or thrillers that center around blackmail, but all of these books I've rated 4 stars and above. So if you're sick of the blackmail trope failing you, maybe pick up one of these and it will turn your opinion around on blackmail thrillers. Most of these are domestic thrillers. A lot of them are rich people drama, suburban mommy drama. So if you like that, you're gonna love all of these. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the recommendations. First up, I have The Perfect Family by Robin Harding. I give this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. We are following a family and each family member has done something that they don't want to get out. And all of a sudden, all of these pranks start happening to them. And they start out kind of harmless, like egging their yard and things like that. Annoying, kind of malicious, but not anything too scary. But these pranks get more and more and more and more aggressive over the course of the book. And every single family member thinks that it's because of their secret that this is happening, because there are threats that go along with these pranks, like, I'm gonna let your secret out. So every single one of the family members is like, I don't know, it's not me, but is secretly freaking out, thinking that their family's being tormented because of them. Nobody's communicating the secrets to each other, so nobody knows. Everyone's suffering in silence, and we are trying to figure out, first of all, everyone's secrets, and second of all, which person is being targeted by this malicious prankster. But some of the stuff is pretty dark. It's not just light pranks. And this kind of blackmail I can totally get behind. I loved anticipating what the next thing was going to be to torment this family. And honestly, it was really cathartic seeing like this hoity-toity rich family that lives in this big, beautiful house get fucked with. So if you like that, eat the rich kind of vibe, I think you will like The Perfect Family. Next up, we have The Third Wife by Lisa Jewell. And if you like fucked up family dynamics, you're gonna love this one. This is about exactly what it says. This man is on his third wife, but it's a little bit of a different dynamic because he's friends with his 2 previous exes. So him, his 3 wife and past wives, and all of their kids like hang out together. Some of them live together. They go on vacations together. It's just like a weird dynamic that me personally, I've never seen. The most recent wife all of a sudden gets these blackmail letters that are like, what are you doing? What are your real motives being with this guy? I know what they are. I'm gonna expose you, da 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 da, and I hate you and I'm gonna kill you. Like, they're just like these threatening letters that go up and up and up from just like, I know that you're a gold digger, da 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 da, to I'm gonna kill you, threatening her life. So obviously she's freaking out, and we are following not only the fucked up family dynamic, but her as she tries to navigate that. And we're also trying to figure out who is sending these letters to her. Is it the other wives? Is it one of the kids? Is it the guy himself? Or is it someone that we would never expect? This one kept me guessing the entire time. I love reading about just like weird family dynamics, and my psychology brain was going the entire time. If you're a therapist and you like thinking about like attachment theory and stuff like that while you're reading a thriller, this is the one. Next, let's talk about 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. So this one is YA, but I would recommend it to all readers, not just young adult readers, because it is pretty exciting and fast-paced and high stakes. It's about this group of kids who are going on a vacation and they're in this RV and they don't quite make it to their destination because their RV gets, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just say sidetracked. And there are people outside of the van, literally with guns, like ready to end their lives. And they are not going to leave them alone until they say the secret. And we don't know whose secret it is. There's a lot of secrets that it could be, and it's kind of like a perfect family scenario where you're not only trying to find out what secret they're going for and trying to expose, but you're also finding out every single person's secret along the way. So it really kept me invested. Not only is it really, really fast paced, it all takes place over one high stakes night, but also as you're reading, you're getting these little twists and reveals as you find out every kid's secret. It was so fun. A ton of girls in my Patreon buddy read this together and we all really liked it. I don't think anyone gave it below like 3.5 stars. So it's pretty well loved and I highly recommend it even though it's YA. Don't let that scare you off. And while we're at it, let's just talk about the other YA pick on this list, and that is Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Iamide. I hope that I said her name right, but I really love this book, and honestly, it is so impressive that this was written when I think she was in college. Like, let me go to the author description. Hold on. Yeah. It says she currently studies English literature at university in the Scottish Highlands. Like, that's crazy that someone so young wrote such a masterful thriller. She is so talented and I can't wait to see what she does next. But Ace of Spades is about these 2 queer Black kids at this prep school. It's like very hoity-toity prep school and they're kind of popular. Like, they have this good life until all of a sudden, out of the blue, they get these threatening text messages and they're anonymous. We don't know who is doing this, but they're threatening to expose each of their secrets. So they kind of join up together and they're trying to figure out what is going on, if they're being targeted because of their skin color or their sexuality, or if somebody else just has a nefarious motive for wanting to expose their secrets. This one goes absolutely crazy at the end. If you like big twists and just thrillers that like go and go, and all of a sudden it's in this crazy place that's so far away from where you started, you're going to love it. It has great commentary. It's in a dark academia setting if you like that. And again, this is one that I would recommend to all readers, not just young adult readers. I'm not a big fan of YA and I really enjoyed it. Next, let's talk about a recent read for me. This one was actually released in 2023, so this year, and that is Lovely Girls by Margot Hunt. In this book, we're following a mother and daughter who move to this new town. So they're new to town, they're both trying to bust into their separate friend groups. We're following the mom trying to get into the mom friend group and the younger teenage girl trying to get into the girlfriend group. And again, threatening text messages start coming up and threatening to expose one of the girls. And so, of course, all the moms get in on the drama and all the little girls are tennis players. Like, if you can just picture like hoity-toity little tennis players, and they're so catty and so mean. It is so rich people drama, and it is so easy to read. This one I read in just a few hours while I was cleaning the house on audio. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's such an easy read, and it is great for the blackmail trope because there's a lot of other subplots. It does center around blackmail, but there's a lot of other drama going on. Reading this book was like watching like Real Housewives. It was just so dramatic the entire time. I was living for it. Next up, let's talk about The Lion Club by Annie Ward. Oh my gosh, I love this book. This one was such an easy 5-star for me. This is very similar to Lovely Girls because it takes place around this like hoity-toity prep school and the mommy drama that happens there. It is major rich people drama. And basically what happens is we're following many people connected to this school. At the school, the opening scene is 2 bodies being carried out of the school. So we're trying to figure out over the course of the book who the bodies are, like who died, and obviously who killed them. And then one of our characters along the way is being blackmailed. We're not sure who is doing it or why they're doing it, and I'm not going to give away exactly what the blackmail is because I think it's a mini spoiler. I think it says something about it on the back, but I would prefer to go in without knowing that, so I would tell you to go in semi-blind, don't read the back. But this is another great domestic thriller with that blackmail element. It has a ton of other subplots. Obviously, there's multiple murder mysteries going on. So it's super exciting, super dramatic. I loved these characters. They're just like such caricatures of normal people, and it's so funny to just like follow their dramatic antics. I had so much fun with this one. And it's super underrated. Like I never hear anyone talk about this one. Next up, let's talk about Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. Now, when you think of a blackmail thriller, this is probably the one you think of. It's probably the most popular book that I have on this list, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it, but it's not as good as the rest of the books on here. I just felt like I wanted to include it because it's kind of the OG in my eyes. When I think of a blackmail thriller, I think of Someone We Know. And there's a little bit of an extra element in here. It's not just like blackmail threats. There's actually a home invasion aspect. And if you know me, then you know my biggest fear is home invasion. It is so scary to me, that like invasion of privacy. Oh my God, I can't deal with it. And that's a big element in this book. So it really freaked me out. We are following this string of break-ins that happens. And this person who's breaking into the homes finds out a bad boy piece of information. And so what do they do with that piece of information? They start blackmailing the homeowner. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with the blackmail and the secrets. And then we're also figuring out what's going on with the break-ins. And I think you figure out who's doing the break-ins like really early on, and watching the family members of the person who's doing the break-ins try to cover up their tracks as things go off and off the rails is so funny. Like just the suburban paranoia and like this mom just like flailing out of her mind trying to cover up. It is insane. And it is so fun to read. This is not deep, okay? This is just suburban drama, but was it a really good time? Yes. Getting back to another 2023 release, I have The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. I just read this one a couple months ago in my book club, and I absolutely loved it. There were some mixed opinions on this, but I really enjoyed it. You've probably heard the synopsis of this book because it's been exploding lately. I think everyone's really liking it. It's pretty popular right now. Basically, this couple moves to the edge of a cliff, and they buy this house not knowing that it's a popular spot for people to go jump off the cliff. So the husband's unofficial role becomes talking people down from this cliff. And one day when a woman succeeds in jumping, she completes her suicide, things become really sketchy. The wife is thinking, you've succeeded every other time at talking them down. What's wrong with this one? The husband is flailing, thinking that he's going to be found out, and that's a little bit of the blackmail element in here. And then we're also following this perspective that is so interesting, and it's so fun to follow. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it is so unique. I absolutely love it. And it's happening in more and more thrillers where we get this kind of unique perspective. I love it. I love that trend so much. And I know that's a controversial one. I can't really talk about it too much without spoiling it, so I'll just leave it at that. But I really, really enjoyed it. The character development, the mental health pieces, some of them are a little bit shoddy. I will say, if you don't have a full depth of knowledge on the things that are being talked about in here, you might get the wrong idea about a few of the mental health disorders that are being represented in this book. So definitely do your research. But I also think that it's just a really fun time and we don't have to read into a fun little thriller that much. So if you like mental health topics, blackmail, setting on the side of a cliff that's really atmospheric, and always Sally Hepworth does great at the family dynamics, you're gonna love this one. The next one, I debated about if I wanted to include it in this video because it's not like small scale blackmail. It's kind of like the craziest blackmail that could ever be, and that is a hostage situation. So I am talking about Hostage by Claire McIntosh, and this is another one that's so underrated. I never hear anyone talk about it. I give it 5 stars. I absolutely love it. The commentary is commentarying in here. And y'all know I love a thriller that has something to say on top of being a fun, exciting time. So in this book, we're following a flight attendant and she gets passed a note mid-flight that says she has to make a choice to sabotage the plane, or she can not sabotage the plane and not kill all of these people on board, but they will kill her daughter. So it's like a lose-lose situation, basically, and we're following her in this moral dilemma as she's trying to navigate it, and we're also trying to figure out why this woman was targeted. Why is her daughter the one that's kidnapped? Why is she the one at risk? And why does she have this big decision to make, just this random like flight attendant woman? So it's big scale blackmail. And a lot of secrets get revealed over the course of this book. I think that's the thing that hooks me into blackmail thrillers when they're good. It's because the secrets are juicy, and that is definitely happening in Hostage. It also takes place around Christmas time, so if you're a seasonal kind of mood reader, save this one for the winter, for December, and I promise you will love the vibes. Getting into our last few recs here, we have The Collective by Allison Galen, and this is following a single mother whose daughter was tragically taken from her, and she knows exactly who's at fault, but as the justice system does, it fails, and this guy is not being brought to justice, so she decides to take things into her own hands, and she gets involved with this group on the dark web called The Collective. And to get justice in The Collective, you have to carry out someone else's justice. So it's an eye for an eye kind of thing. And she gets into it very deeply. I'm not going to spoil anything, but a lot of blackmail goes on kind of both ways. Like, she's blackmailing the guy who hurt her daughter and saying that she's going to expose him and all of this stuff. But then also the group is blackmailing her and saying you can't leave because we have this dirt on you. It is just so much back and forth, finger pointing. She gets into this crazy situation that's twisted up in secrets and lies and deception. Oh my God. This book was so thrilling. It's so fast paced. I read it by the pool and I vividly remember I had like the shape of the corner of the book burned into my leg because I could not move. I was just stuck there reading this book and flipping pages because I needed to know what was gonna happen at the end. And I'm not gonna lie, the end was a tad disappointing compared to the rest of the book, but I still think it's worth it because this plot is so unique. I love stuff about the dark web. I love this like web of blackmail going on. It is just so unique, so interesting. And I still give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next up, we have Playing Nice by J.P. Delaney, another underrated fave. I absolutely love this one. So the situation in this thriller is basically these two families were at the hospital at the same time, and their sons got switched at birth. Yeah. And then one day, this man shows up at one of the couple's doors and is like, hey, I think our kids got switched at birth. That's my baby. Huh? And the gag is one of the kids has like severe special needs. Like severely disabled, is gonna need a lot of financial and emotional support throughout his entire life. And one family is really bitter about that. As fucked up as it is, they do not want to claim that kid. And the other kid has issues as well. So it's kind of like a going back and forth, blackmailing each other for different things and various secrets crossing. It's kind of like The Collective, where there's just this web and it just keeps growing and growing, and things get more and more tangled and more secrets come out, and you see how things got mixed up and how things are intertwined. It is so crazy, and it's another one that has big moral dilemmas in it. You're thinking the entire time you're reading, like, if this was me, if this was my kid, what the hell would I do? And honestly, I have no idea. This is such a hard situation, but it was so fun to read about. And this is another one, if you like rich people drama, if you like fucked up family dynamics, like I do, you're gonna love this one. It's so good and so underrated. Please read it. Also, slight creepy kid vibes. If you like creepy kids, this is a good one as well. And the last book on this list is Just the Nicest Couple by Mary Kubica. When I read this one, it was another one of those days where I just get like sucked in to a rich people drama thriller and I cannot put it down, and I just spend all day reading. I love those days, and this book definitely gave me one of my favorite one of those days. So this book follows a man and his wife, and then another woman and her husband, so two couples, and they get like weirdly intertwined yet again. It's just a web of secrets that happens here. So one woman, her husband goes missing. The other woman, who happens to be one of her close friends, is the last person to see her husband alive. So when he goes missing, she's like, oh fuck. Something definitely happened between me and him that may have caused his disappearance/death, ? So she goes home and tells her husband, and then her husband is like, well, we can't tell anybody because what if you get questioned and then things come out, and then along the way, people get blackmailed for information, and it's not just that woman's information. She wants information from other people, and she's going to use the information that she has to get that information. Do you see what I mean? How it's just like a web of secrets and lies? Yeah. In a rich people suburban setting, the rich people vibes in this book are so good. These people are so wealthy, and even just the descriptions of like the neighborhood they live in and all of that, the security system, the home, the pool, the trails in the neighborhood, like it's just so atmospheric if you like a suburban thriller like I do. It was so much fun. Again, not too deep, but very entertaining. And I loved the twists in this one. So there you have it. Those are my top 12 blackmail thrillers. I hope you enjoyed this video and added a couple books to your TBR. If you did, go ahead and give me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!